Hi everyone, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a post-match reaction for Newcastle United's 2-2 draw down at Ellen Road. I can't believe we haven't won this fucking game, to be honest with you. I'm going to get stuck into this in a minute. Just talk a little bit about the ups and downs and highs and lows of the game. The referee is certainly going to get it off me in a minute because I thought he was dreadful. But just before we do, a little reminder, if you haven't already, please click subscribe. I'd love you to come and join us. We're way over 3,300 now, so Mark needs to update this as well. A bit more work for the stat man, which is amazing. So many people clicking the button. We really appreciate it. We have 2 live shows, Mondays and Wednesdays, and pop-up videos just like post-match reactions we're about to get stuck into. We're live again this afternoon, so it's an early one. So if people are out and about doing stuff, we're getting dragged to IKEA, which is normally a Saturday job. Jump in the comments, as a few of you done already. George has already been there early doors. He's saying not the worst it could have been, but hardly the best either. William is very similar to me, I think, pissed off about that. Nowhere near good enough. Elements of it really, really wound me up as well, mate. Nick is saying that we were awful and we deserved to lose. But let's get stuck into it then. So how did the lads line up today? If you hadn't caught the game already, this is how we're lined up. So again, Sean Longstaff continues to be out at the side. He is a big miss. We can see that. Everyone can see that. I don't think that midfield ticks as well without Sean Longstaff there. So Miggy Almiron came in that front three. We still had Callum Wilson and Isak playing together, which I was quite surprised at. After the Arsenal game, I thought we might have just went back to the one up front, but we didn't do that, and the rest of the team kind of picked itself, really. So, a tricky game, this one for Leeds. Leeds were always going to be up for this. You know, they're in a relegation fight at 19th in the table. They needed to win. Sam Allardyce said they needed to win the game, and when you look at the table, they probably did need to win the game. So, they started quite ferociously. The crowd was raucous. Really good crowd, good atmosphere by Leeds. I like the Leeds fans. I think they've been through a lot of shit over the years. They've had a massive stay away from the Premier League. It was great to see them back. I think under Bielsa, they played great stuff. The only problem I have with your Leeds fans is your manager's a fucking dinosaur, and dinosaurs are extinct. And I really hope that he does not hang around after this little cameo that he's got at the end of the season. But saying that, they were flying at tackles left, right, and centre. And this leads me on to exactly what I think William said in the comments. The ref, John's saying the ref did a fair job. I disagree, John. I thought the ref was fucking dreadful. I thought there was loads of challenges that he let go early on. There could have been yellow cards. So many late challenges by the Leeds players, probably in the first 10, 15 minutes. He didn't put a marker down. He let the game go. I'm sure the first yellow card I see him actually pull out was for Bruno diving, I think it was. So, yeah, I didn't think the referee had a hold of the game at all, particularly well. Our passing was a bit sloppy again today. I just don't think we moved it kind of as smoothly as you would have liked. A little bit similar to some of the play against Arsenal, where that final pass was just wanting a little bit. You were thinking to yourself, we are going to step it up and turn on the gas and just blow Leeds away, really. But then the worst thing happens. Leeds hoof a ball up a park. Jack Harrison seems to have all the time in the world to do keep-ups. And then Bamford whips a ball in. Trippier doesn't close it down. It gets across to the back post with a header. I think it was Rodrigo, headed it. Pope makes a save. Probably should have pushed it around the post, but he pushes it back into play. Nobody reacts. And then Luke Ayling smashes it in the back of the net and we're 1-0 down, which I was quite surprised at, to be honest with you. I didn't think Leeds were going to take the lead. I really didn't. I thought they were going to sit in deep and let us kind of push on to them and then try to hit us on that break, but they went fairly early on. That goal came 7 minutes in, which it kind of rattled us a little bit. I felt, we kind of didn't know what to do with that, really, and then we did start to get back into the game a little bit after that. Isak was trying to come on the ball and make things happen. I still don't think Isak's as effective on the left-hand side as he is through the middle. He did have moments when he was kind of dropping the shoulder and he was getting double and triple teamed by Leeds. So he was clearly pointed out as the danger man by Sam Allardyce and Leeds United. So he didn't get a lot of space on the ball. I thought Joe Linton was really poor in that first half as well. I thought there was a lot of wayward passes by Joe Linton, heavy touches, just silly decision-making by Joe. Didn't have his best game at all. I was quite surprised he stayed on for as long as he did. I would have hooked him probably earlier on, to be fair. I didn't think he had a great game at all. Bruno was okay. But again, some sloppy passing there with Bruno. A little bit better than it has been recently, but a little bit sloppy in the play as well. And some of the lads just look a bit burnt out, look a bit tired, really. And I don't know whether that played played into this game at all. But going on to our equaliser, Isak gets the ball, lovely little ball around the corner from Bruno. And I'm trying to remember the Leeds player who it was. Actually, I might just quickly check the lineups so you can refresh my memory. I think is it Warber, Maximilian Warber. He comes across and absolutely fucking annihilates Alexander Isak with the most rash tackle I've ever seen. It's like a Sunday league tackle, stonewall penalty. They went and looked at VAR, I think, for all of about 3 seconds and realised it was a penalty. So get a penalty. Funny enough, Isak said he wanted to take the penalty. You could see whispering to Wilson's ear, and Wilson said, "No, I'm taking it." And Isak kind of shook his head a little bit as Wilson was getting up to take the pen. You could just see him in the background. But then, beautiful pen by Wilson, puts it away, easy as you like. Fantastic. We're back in the game. Get in at half time. You think the lads are going to do something about this. Leeds had a penalty as well, actually, just before that, and they fluffed it with, again, a bad tackle by Joe Linton. So it was great to actually not be 2-0 down, get back into the game at 1-1. Second half comes out, and again, I thought the lads would come out with a lot more vigour than they did, but they were just sloppy again. They were really sloppy again. I didn't think they looked like they were at the races at all, really, and just again, not the best. I wouldn't say we were dreadful, but I just think that again, rushing the pass and just being a bit, being a bit panicky really on the ball. Some silly heavy touches leading to fouls, allowing Leeds to get little free kicks. Again, going back to the ref, he was blown up for everything for Leeds. He was blown up for very little for Newcastle. I thought the ref was really, really poor. So going into the game, I suppose the biggest moment of the first biggest moment of the second half was ball comes across. Isak managed to find a little bit of space, slight little nudge on Frimpo, who had just put a ridiculous tackle in before on Bruno, and luckily he got not get a red card because it looked like both his feet were off the ground, but one of his feet landed before his tackling foot landed, so he got away with a yellow card there. And a few seconds later, this fucking knacker decides to put his hand up in the air and handball it. Fair play with Isak. He was screaming so loud I could hear him in Sweden to get the pen. And the ref goes and looks at VAR for ages, and looks at the pen, and then he doesn't send the guy off. It's a fucking deliberate handball. He doesn't send the guy off. He really doesn't. I can't get my head around that. If that's a deliberate handball you give a penalty for, that has got to be another yellow card and a red card. I mean, it didn't matter later on because he got sent off for a stupid tackle. I think it was on possibly Gordon. I think it was. He stamped on Gordon, took his boot off, and he got a red card then. But he should have been sent off way before then. If Leeds had been down to 10 men from that point, we might have turned the screw and won that game. We did go 2-1 up with the penny. Wilson tucked it away again tremendously before he come off. And then you think yourself, right, Newcastle are in cruise control here. And we're going to maybe finish this game 3 or 4-1 like we have done before. And we again let Leeds back into it. As Mark rightly says there, we really let them off the hook. They're a dreadful team. Leeds aren't great at all. We let them back into the game. Is it Christensen blasts the ball, hits Trippier in the head, and goes in the back of net, and then they're level at 2-2. And I don't really think Leeds deserved a draw. I haven't spoken to my mate who's a Leeds fan yet. See what he thinks about it. I will do after this. But I don't think Leeds deserved a draw at all. I thought they were fucking honking. They stunk out the entire stadium, in my opinion. Very little football being played. Hoofball, late tackles, just 1986 tactics. Pretty much like what we'd expect from their manager. So yeah, I'm not particularly impressed at all. John's saying there in the comments that we should have known Allardyce's Leeds team would be a tackling team. That's fair play, John. We should have done, but we should have done better than that. Taylor used toxic, saying we were lucky to get a point. To be honest, Leeds should have been down to a man with second pen. Absolutely, mate. That's exactly what I just said there. I've been ranting. Just check these comments coming in. Abu is saying that he thought the ref did okay. It was all on us. I wouldn't agree with that, Abu. I think the ref was crap. We weren't great. I'll give you that, mate. But the referee's piss poor there, mate. He bottled that red card with the penalty. Totally bottled that. He should have sent him off straight away. I thought he was really shit with that. And again, it goes back to what we said to Keith Hackett a few weeks ago about refs just not being good enough. Andrew DB saying Isak Wilson does not work, Eddie. I think that's, well, you can say that, mate. I'm kind of with you on it, but I suppose if you look at it, Isak won 2 penalties and Wilson scored 2 penalties, so kind of worked in that regard. But I do get what you're saying, mate. Hibernate, Miss Longstaff again, absolutely, mate. I don't disagree with that at all. I think Sean is way more valuable to this side than anybody even thinks. That he was prior before. So spare thought for William, because he went to bed at 2 a.m., got back up at 3:45 to watch that. What was he thinking? He's not very happy. Yeah, unfortunately, William, the lads haven't put it in for you today, mate, to make you appreciate that wake-up call. Sean is right. Isak is not a winger. He can play as a number 10 and move wide. So maybe that's the answer when we play with the two of them, Sean, as we play him in that 10 role and maybe stick either Gordon or Maxi out wide. But yeah, I didn't think he was great today. Man of the match for me, it's difficult because I don't think we were that good. I thought Joe Willock played well out of everybody. I think them probing runs that he was making down that left-hand side. So I'm probably going to go with Joe Willock. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, who you think man of the match was there. George saying doesn't think Almiron was man of the match. Yeah, Miggy looked a little bit headless again, I thought, today. I don't think he was particularly grand. But by the way, if any of you are watching BT Sports, that commentary is fucking dreadful. BT, you need to sort yourself out. Go and get a couple of fans from YouTube to go and do your commentary, because them two are absolutely horrendous. And every time Newcastle plays, it seems like they want them to get beat. So yeah, I would say Stu's inquiry on that one. Yeah, I think your commentary team are dreadful, BT. You need to sort your shit out. No wonder you're going to change to TNT. Hopefully they'll change some of your crap stuff while they're at it as well. Just looking through your comments here, guys, as well, just kind of scrolling through. We've got T-Dog there. T-Dog is saying afternoon. He's missed a few shows, but he's back watching them. Good to see you back in the comments, T-Dog. Huge congrats to me and Mark for that 3 stone. Yep, 3 stone. God, we'll gain more than 3 stone, mate. That's for damn sure. 3K Master. Thank you so much, T-Dog. We really appreciate that, mate. Yeah, and Andrew says he agrees that they were honking. The commentary, I imagine you're talking about, mate, as well. Absolutely horrendous. Yeah, John's saying again, same as me, hoofball, long over the top, dirty tackle, total predictable from Sam, no salad eyes. Yeah, absolutely. You know what you get. You know what you get from Sam Allardyce, and I'm not sure whether we we actually plan for that at all. Yeah, Mark's just saying thanks to you too, T-Dog. Massive thanks for that. Hanging with my normies, love that. I'm not so sold on Gordon. He offers us nothing. Do you know what it is, mate? Gordon's kind of still got a lot to prove, I think, to a lot of fans. I don't disagree with what you're saying there. He has nice little cameos. He comes for the ball. He's good when he gets it. Quick passes, makes good runs. But I mean, he needs a goal or he needs an assist. I think, mate, you're right. Just to kind of get those doubts out of people's minds as to whether the kid's worth 40 million quid or not. The summer's coming up. I know we're going to sign quality. There's been talk about Madison's been talking about Ward-Prowse already, getting stronger and stronger in terms of even deals being tied up for those 2 players. Obviously, the young Turkish boy as well, Guela, who might be one for the future. We've done a video on him, so that'll be coming out soon. Just letting you know what kind of our take is on that young lad as well, who looks a player. So yeah, Gordon's going to have to step up, I think, certainly in the last few games, and just see, if he can prove to us that he's the player that we all hope he's going to be. But he is just getting little cameos. He's trying to make the most of what he can do. But nobody still thinks we will get top 4. We're still looking good for him. I'm just looking at table action in a minute. We'll kind of look at that as well. So yeah, we've got Maggot saying Willock is so slow in reactions and Bruno tries to thread impossible balls all the time. Almiron, just as expected, junk. Yeah, I mean, Miggy's had a great season, though. He's had a season of his life, to be fair. But I do think this purple patch of Miggy, sadly, is over. I don't really think that we're going to see the return from Miggy that we did earlier on in the season, sadly, which maybe means we need to upgrade big time on that right-hand side in the summer. Peter's saying he hates Leeds, dirty fuckers. Should have had a red card 3 times over. I don't disagree, Peter. I think some of their tackling was dreadful. And again, I go back to the referee. If the referee's not going to put a marker down early on in the game and get a handle on it, then these teams are going to make tackles like that, bad tackles like that. I mean, Bruno's lucky that one from was it Firpo doesn't break his ankle, really, because that was horrendous. That tackle 2 feet off the ground. Yes, one landed when he made the tackle, but he was very late, and there was a lot of shithouse bad tackles by Leeds in the first 20 minutes that should have got at least 1 or 2 yellows, and that would have set the tone for the game, I feel, and they wouldn't have probably get away from that. Mischievous there, John. The Mackhams are coming up, sell Gordon to the Mackhams. He can't be that bad, mate. You can't want rid of him already, pal. Got comment from George saying, I have this concern that we're picking up players who look great in shit sides and then look average in a good one. Oh, that's a fair point, mate. It's a fair point. Obviously, talking about Gordon there. I mean, we haven't signed anybody else from dreadful sides, but you're right. If we sign Ward-Prowse and Madison, 2 teams that could get relegated this season, it's not a bad shout, mate, to be fair. But there is a player there, certainly in Madison. We all know that. And Ward-Prowse has his qualities as well. That free kick we get just towards the end of the game, I honestly thought Trippier was going to do better with that. He hasn't hit a free kick for a long, long time here. If Ward-Prowse is in a Newcastle side and we get a free kick in the 92nd minute, that's probably going to nest on the top corner more times out or not. So, he's a talented player to have in your squad for those kind of things as well. Maggot's saying the handball, he needs a second yellow. They don't make them subs, they don't score the second goal. Totally agree, mate. This is where the ref bottled it. If I was Eddie Howe, and I hope Eddie Howe does write to the Premier League about that, and the head of officiating, Howard Webb, because how on earth you can do that? How on earth you can give a penalty and not send the guy off for a deliberate handball? It makes no sense whatsoever. If you do a deliberate handball, you get a yellow card for a handball. The guy was on a yellow card already, second yellow card, red card, off he goes, changes the whole dynamic of the game. The refs completely fucking screwed it for us there, in my opinion. And the referee needs to be binned. Don't let him referee any more Premier League games, certainly for the rest of the season, and fucking stick him in the lower leagues and get him to learn his trade a bit better, because he clearly can't referee, because that's refereeing 101, mate. You bottled it. You're a shithouse. You bald-headed, slap-headed wanker. That's what I've got to say about him. I know I want to talk, but that's bullshit from the referee. I'm not happy. I'm going into rant mode here because I thought the referee was absolutely dreadful in that instance. Fucking prick. William's saying that, yeah, teams found Mickey out. Take away his left foot. He has no answer. We need a major upgrade in both wings. I don't disagree. William, I think you're right, mate. I think out wide, we are wanting a lot. Even when Maxi come on, I thought he did really well against Arsenal. I know people think I'm a Maxi basher. I'm not a Maxi basher. It just frustrates the life out of me. We did really well against Arsenal. And then he come on the day again. He did do a great deal. I think he got tackled at one point and he was rolling for about 20 seconds afterwards while, actually we were trying to defend a counter-attack. And that's the bit that frustrates me the most about Maxi. I'm sure it frustrates the manager even more so than ever. But a little bit of positive spin there from Nomis. One positive will help Leeds get above the toffees. I must admit, it's a hard one, that, mate, isn't it? Who do you want to go down? Do you want Everton to go down, or do you want Sam Allardyce to go down? Honestly, unbelievable. I've got another one from T-Dog there saying, you need to take the point before the game. It's knowledge of the two home games that we have next. Bit surprised about the Leeds celebrations. A point does very little for them. Yeah, I mean, especially when your manager says you've got to win the game before the game. But listen, they're in the shit. We've been in the shit. If we got a point, against our top 3, top 4 side, we probably would have celebrated last season as well. So I'm not going to run the Leeds fans down too much for that one, T-Dog. But you're right, the Leicester game is huge at home. We have to win that. We have to win the Brighton game at home as well. We need 2 more wins to get that Champions League place. I'm just looking at the table there now. So had we won, we would have had 5 points ahead of Liverpool, with 3 games to play. And I think we're pretty much too much for Liverpool to overtake us there. But as it stands now, we're only 4 points ahead of Liverpool. So if Liverpool win this weekend, then we still have that game in hand on them. Obviously, Manchester United are on 63 points. So, that's the one we need to be wary of is obviously Liverpool in 5th place. So we're on 66 points. So we get those 2 wins at home. Liverpool can only finish on 71 points maximum. So if we get those 2 wins at home and we're over the 71, we're on the 71 point mark. So we're sorted there from them. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's it's got to be done at home, really, to be honest with you. So I'm just laughing at these comments here. John saying, the right wins about to throw in, and mostly everything that didn't go his way. Alwood, I don't know that is, mate. Alwood, I'm not sure who it is, but Mark is saying, or Ailing. That must be predicted text. He is a fucking whinge bag, him, top knot. Yeah, I must admit, I can't stand that bloke. Drives me at the fucking wall, to be honest with you. He's one of them guys who thinks he's a better player than he is, to be fair. Ailing, he's probably very lucky. Bielsa made a lot of these average players look like much better players than they were. A bit like Eddie Howe's done to some of our lads, to be honest with you. I think we do get a bit swept up in that. Sometimes, as some of you have mentioned already, that there's players in this squad who are playing way beyond their capabilities this season and the back end of last season. And I think in the summer, there's no room for sentiment. I think Audie said that on pretty much every pod that he's been on. It's great when Audie goes right down the middle and analyzes that kind of a thing, But he's right. He's totally right. You can't have sentiment. If we're going to be Champions League, you can't be always a good lad and he's done well, Like Lascelles is a perfect example, right? Upgrade on Lascelles. Upgrade on other players, Matt Ritchie's and guys like even Miggy. Upgrade on Miggy. Don't get rid of Miggy, make him a squad player. But that right wing, if you chance to get Moussa Diaby or something like that, go get him. It's an upgrade on Miggy. You can't be too sentimental about these guys, moving forward when you're trying to succeed as a football club. It's just the nature of the football club. William is cheering on the Villa against Liverpool. Absolutely, mate. As does George. Yeah, probably the first time we want Villa to win as Newcastle fans, I think, guys. And Mark is saying that it would have been 6 points clear if they won. Much more comfortable. Absolutely. Just said that as well, mate. I mean, it just makes it a little bit tighter down there. Like I say, we've got Leicester at home next, and we've got Brighton at home as well, and then Chelsea away. So the 2 home games, at St James's Park, with that atmosphere, with war flags, with the fans, everybody behind the lads. Hopefully, we can get that result, get those 2 results, get those 2 wins that we need, and just cement us in the Champions League. What would be a perfect outcome for me? As much as I can't stand Liverpool, is if Man United slipped out of the top 4, because I just think that'll be fucking hilarious. Given all the bollocks that came out with earlier on about how Ten Hag has changed the game and all this stuff, it would just be hilarious if they don't finish in the top 4, just because of my historic feelings towards Man United, the wankers. But Ian in the comments, good to see you, Ian. Yeah, disappointing, but fair result. He got a whiff today of how he played, securing the final in the year for years. Similar, one eye on the prize, Champions League. It seems we lost a bit of focus. I don't disagree with that, mate. I really don't. I think, again, we are severely hampered without Sean Longstaff in that midfield. It is as mad as it is. I think, without Sean in that midfield, I just think we massively lose out. We massively lose out on, on those legs, on that energy, on a player that just manages to pull everybody together. You know what I mean? So it is a big miss. Yeah, my bad, William. Sorry, it is Brighton on Thursday, and then it is Leicester on the Monday, mate. I got them the wrong way around, so my bad, mate. But 2 massive home games there back to back that we need to win, mate. I really believe that. I really believe that. Sorry, John's making me laugh in the comments there, saying my Steve Bruce impressions, he woulda, coulda, shoulda. I won't do my Steve Bruce impression. I did that in my rant video. Go check that out if you want to watch that. I think I scared some of the lads in the Evermore pod crew how precise my Steve Bruce impression was. Really, I won't do that too often, so we might throw something at me. I'll get chased out of loads of cities: Newcastle, Sunderland, Wigan, Sheffield, Birmingham. Well, maybe not Birmingham because I like him in Birmingham. Hull, might like him in Hull a little bit, but no, sorry to disappoint, John. Sorry, mate. I'll save the Steve Bruce one maybe for what's going on Monday night, possibly, if he comes out with some other shite as well. But yeah, disappointing day at the office for Newcastle. That game did annoy me a bit. I just feel that we had the quality to win that game. I just don't think we had the focus, as Ian rightly says today. I think we didn't take an opportunity. I think Leeds are an awful side, and we played into their game. I just don't think we got it down and did what we do best, really, and tear teams to pieces on our day, like we did against Spurs, like we did against Nottingham Forest, we did against Southampton, West Ham. We could have done all of that today with Leeds, because they didn't really have a great deal of quality. They're buzzing because for them that's a massive result. But for us, we should be disappointed that we didn't get 3 points in that game. Just one final note as well before I sign off. Leeds United, you need to sort your security out, because how a fan gets that close to Eddie Howe is beyond me. That is absolutely terrifying. Now, I love the way Eddie styled it out, hands in pockets, and just basically went, fuck off to the guy, and then that was it, and the guy was dragged away. But I mean, thankfully the guy wasn't overly aggressive. He just looked like a really sad tax attorney or something who's just been made redundant, and his wife's left him, and he's been drinking all morning. That's kind of what he looked like. So, but he didn't have a knife or something like that, which he could have done in this day and age. There's loads of fucking nutters out there. So sort that out at Leeds United. That is really, really bad. An intruder should never get that close to a player or a manager. So yeah, your stewards were sleeping there, mate. So I'm not happy with that. And I'm just glad that nothing happened to Eddie Howe. We've got Dan Kay in the comments just saying people need to relax. Tell me any fan who wouldn't have taken third spot with 3 to play at the beginning of the season. Even 5 points from the 3 gets us through unless Liverpool outscores by 7. No, it's a fair point, Dan. I mean, I'm not wound up by it. I'm just disappointed that we didn't win. I mean, I think we're a much better team than what we showed today, and I think that's what a lot of people are probably saying. I don't think we're going to drop out of the top 4 by any stretch, and I think this is a phenomenal season. Listen, even if we finish 5th, it's a phenomenal season. But given everything that's been offered this season, the EFL Cup that we didn't manage to get, Champions League that we're kind of be in the driving seat for quite a long period of time. I think if we didn't get those 2, one of the 2, I think you're right. You're rightly saying, I think a lot of people would be a bit upset by that. Maybe, yeah, some people are wound up. I mean, Newcastle United Twitter will probably be in meltdown, but that's a really bad place to look and try and get you feel for how Newcastle United fans are feeling, because it's just full of maniacs, really. If Twitter was a pub, like Kevin Bridges says about Facebook, you would leave and just say it's full of pricks in here. Graham's in the comments. Good to see Graham. You think he had a Toon top on under a hoodie? Oh, fucking hell. That's even worse than if he was one of ours, Graham. That's even worse. I've got no idea what he was thinking then. If he was one of ours, was he trying to tell Eddie to make a substitution or something? What an absolute maniac. Yeah, George is saying that's it. We know that we're much better and it's frustrating. Absolutely, mate. Couldn't agree more. Ash is saying we're going to get UCL. Don't worry. I hope so, mate. Absolutely. You know, and Nomi's again is saying that the season's been a hell of a ride. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Nomi's it's been a brilliant season no matter what, mate. Absolutely. Man versus Wolves at 3 o'clock. Tell you what I think. Haha, how are the lads? Yeah, well, hopefully, Brian, Wolves will get a result there, mate, because it'd be great if they fuck Man United over. William's saying there that fifth would be disappointing end to a great season. I don't disagree with that, mate. I really don't disagree with that. Yeah, John's not sure that he was a Toon fan. He can't be a Toon fan. They never wear the shirt at the game. That's very true. I like that, mate. Very good. Very good. Just one last comment. Yeah, Dan's saying, I'd love to poach Tyler Adams from Leeds if they get sent down. Yeah, they've missed him as well, mate. They have missed him. He's a good player for them, I must admit. But yeah, just one more for Graham. Where's our defending gone? Clean sheet seems a very long time ago. Yeah, you're right, mate. There is some shady goals creeping in, but I think it's fatigue, Graham. That backfire has been together the whole season. So yeah, for me, I just think that that's possibly what it is, and hopefully we can finish the season strong. You know, and the lads get, you know, go away, get match fit, come back. I think we'll improve that back four as well in the summer, the left back area and the other centre half area where Shaw plays. So I think we'll be much better next season. But that's me all done, guys, for this afternoon. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for all the comments. It really helps the episode flow, as always. And as I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, click subscribe. I'd love you to come and join us. Also, if you like the video, before Mark tells me off, get it on YouTube. Help the channel grow. So until then, this is Chris signing off. Let's keep supporting that team. We'll call United, roll on Brighton on Thursday, and one of two home games that will win and hopefully get us into the Champions League for next season. So have a great day, everybody, and we'll catch you later. Cheers now.